Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Cosmic Cunties, where I am your head host, head cunty, Tiffany. And on these episodes, we will be talking about what is happening astrologically as far as the energy goes for the upcoming week. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. My intention is always that you understand what is happening energetically based on the cosmos, and with that knowledge be able to show up as the best version of yourself and for everybody that you come into contact with. And if you're coming back, I am so grateful for you that you are my number one fans and you keep supporting me, and I hope that these weekly energy forecasts have been helping you show up as a better version of yourself, or at least have some self-awareness as to what's going on in and around you. And like I always say, that your external world is a direct reflection of your internal world. So the more that we're able to show up in love from our internal world, the more that we're going to be able to see that love within the external world. So with that being said, I want to get started with this week. We're focusing on November 10th through November 16th of 2025. And this week is spicy, guys. I know I keep saying it, but Scorpio season is spicy. And yeah, we've got yesterday, Sunday, the 9th, Mercury was starting its retrograde. So we are in the retrograde. It is happening. We are strapped down for the next 3 weeks-ish. Some of you are more susceptible or, what's the word I'm looking for here? More easily affected? What is the word I'm looking for? For energies that you come about, whether it be other people or just energy in general. So you might have been feeling things in the pre-shadow period for Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde is officially here. So, and it's in Sagittarius. And Mercury and Mars are kind of dancing together during this first part of the Mercury retrograde. So it's in a fire sign, and it's got Mars there, which is the god of war and really fiery in and of itself. So my intention for y'all this week is watch your mouths. Watch your mouths. And maybe that my intention is that because I need to hear it. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, you're used to speaking your truth and saying whatever's on your mind. And so just don't, I'm not a fan of telling people to watch their mouths, but so that's how serious I am this week. Just know that if you happen to spew some things or let some truths come up that you maybe have been like, I don't know if I should say anything, or I'm just not going to say anything, and those just like out your mouth, this is the next week that's going to probably happen. So don't be surprised if things come out. Don't be surprised if you're feeling fiery, angry, if you're just like, I'm just going to let everybody know. And don't be surprised if somebody does that to you. So all the energy that you're going to be experiencing and battling with, just know that everybody else is as well, especially with this, if they have fire in their chart. So even, and I'm saying this too, because even if you're saying it with love, there's a major chance that it's going to be misinterpreted. Mercury is the planet of communication, ideas, intellect. It is also somewhat related to travel. So just know that even if your intention is love, that somebody could definitely be misinterpreting this. And the energy that we're experiencing is very supportive for fiery arguments. So yeah, just be thoughtful, be extra careful. This is a really good time to go within. It's a confusingly spicy week. It's not just, spicy that you're experiencing. It's like, wait, why is this so spicy? Why is this so heated right now? There's no need for it to be this heated. Like it doesn't equate why people are snapping and what the topic is, or why people are coming back in and bringing things back up from the past. And you're like, what? Why are you, first off, why are you in my realm? Second off, why are you bringing this up? And 3rd, why are you this mad about something this small? So like any one of those could be happening this week, or you could be one of those people that you like, go back to your friend, ex-boss, ex-lover, and you're like, you know what? I never told you this, but da 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 da. You could be doing that. So that's what this energy is doing this week. So just, I'm telling you, put your bootstraps on, strap yourself in, put your seatbelt on, drive slowly, drive cautiously, literally. And yeah, let's get into the week day by day. So Monday today, the moon is in Cancer and it's conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. So these planets are right next to each other, which is an intensity of whatever those planets bring and whatever sign it's in. Cancer is all about emotions, it's intuition. And Cancer is not just, and Jupiter is not just expansive or just optimistic. It's all of the emotions. So whatever you're feeling today, it's feeling expansive. Whether it's good or bad. I like to say good or shadow, because all shadow can be loved and integrated and made good. So everything is inherently good, inherently love. It's just been clouded and kind of like encompassed with fear or whatever else it is, in my humble opinion. So this is a highlight of our internal world before Jupiter goes retrograde. So on Tuesday, the 11th, November 11th, it's a beautiful portal. Jupiter is going retrograde, and this is kind of like a last highlight on Monday of what are you feeling? What do you need to reflect on? Retrogrades are always an internal reflection and repeat back and a reintegration and reflecting. So I don't know if I just said reflecting like 8 times, but reflect, okay? So Jupiter going retrograde is the planet of expansion, optimism, good luck, growth, truth seeking, just like it's a really beautiful planet. But if it's touching something and expanding something that's not quite beautiful, like maybe you're feeling a lot of rage inside, you're going to feel an intensity of that on Monday. But this is really kind of like, I think, a last pit stop, like, hey, let's get gas before we don't have, a touch base point for the next 6 months or 6 miles, whatever it might be. I don't know. So it's like, what are you feeling? And that way, when Jupiter goes retrograde on Tuesday, you can know like, okay, this has been highlighted for me. This is last on my radar. This is what I need to be working on and reflecting on. And with Jupiter being in Cancer, it's this specific relation to like home life and private life, emotions, intuition, like motherly aspects, whether that be with your real mom, whether that be you are a mom, whether that be how you mother yourself. And so it's a reflection of all of that. And also on Monday, the moon in Cancer is trining Saturn retrograding in Pisces, and also trining Neptune retrograding in Pisces. So Saturn and Neptune have combined forces again. Like I've been saying in all these other episodes of Cosmic Cunties, Saturn and Neptune are like the best friends at the party, where they stick together. Like if one needs a drink, they go get a drink. If one needs to go to the bathroom, they both go to the bathroom. There was a bit of time where those friends separated, and that was the last couple weeks, I believe it was. I can't give you the precise dates right now, but they like separated. So, at the party, you get kind of called away, maybe you go talk to someone else, and you come back together and you're like, girl, listen to what happened. So that's kind of, they've come back together and they're reigniting together and reinforcing themselves together, and they're retrograding. So it's reflecting, it's looking back, it's more directed internally, and it's in the sign of Pisces, which Pisces is all about creation, dreams, a little delusional, wise, but also emotional. So with the moon in Cancer trining those planets, it's essentially like disciplined spirituality or delusioned structure. And so when you combine those two together, they're kind of an odd duo. It's like, it's like the tall brunette and the short blonde, or however you want to look at it. It's the black girl and the white girl. It's however you want to look at it. It's like, oh, I wouldn't, naturally put those two people together, but they reflect. They're the yin and the yang, basically. And they bounce off and they really work well together. And so it's kind of an interesting juxtaposition because it's Saturn who's disciplined and Neptune who's dreamy and a little bit delusioned. And it's like, how are we getting those things? They like balance each other out, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And with it being trine, it's really highlighting these areas, these internal emotional areas for us. And so, how do you feel? Some questions to ponder and journal about or reflect upon, or how do you feel about the dreams you've had for yourself this past year that happened? And what about the ones that never came to fruition yet or haven't come to fruition yet? Not that they won't, but what is your gut telling you about those dreams? And what is your intuition telling you? You know, is it something that you need to refine? Is it something that you need to relook at? Is it something that you need to let go of? Is it something that you need to actually start? Um, and so yeah, it's really this like, let's get our shit on the ground going, whatever we're trying to build, because next year is the year of one and we're building a solid foundation and we are trying to bring we're bringing the new world in. So if you're here listening, you more than likely are very spiritual and you have been going through the ringer this last year and you are trying to make things happen for yourself. And it is you're like probably on the precipice of like, do I give up? And as my good friend Jen says, no, bitch, you do not give up. You are literally in the cocoon. You are trying to push yourself out, or you're in that snake skin. And if you get, I read something the other day, if a snake gets scared when it's trying to shed its skin, it doesn't fully shed its skin, and that creates problems for them. And so it's like, if you are here on the precipice, and this is such a hype talk for me too, and you're like, I can't do it, or like, this is too hard, I can't do it, and I can't keep showing up, and I can't keep believing in my dreams or myself, then you're going to sabotage those dreams. You're going to put a hindrance in your dreams. You're going to put a huge roadblock or many in your dreams. You're going to give yourself karma, basically. And it's going to make it harder for you to kind of go forward, especially when the energy supports us starting in the beginning of next year. So yeah, a reflection, that's where we're at. This last part of this year, I've been saying it for about the latter after summer solstice, the latter months of the year is going to be all about it's all about reflection. So we're going inward, the solstice is getting darker and darker. We're going inward. This is reflection time. This is refining time. This is getting our shit together and ready so that next year when it comes about, our foundation is solid. All right. The moon also today moves to Leo. So Leo is all about its fiery emotions, especially with the Sagittarius Mercury retrograde that started. I would normally say a moon in Leo, take up space, sis. Like, take it up, talk about your gifts, share it with the world. But I really caution you to do that during this time because of this Mercury retrograde. It could come off as egotistical. So just for this time period, it could come off as like, oh, she's bragging, because there's that heightened chance of miscommunication and misunderstanding. And so with that being said, it's kind of like, I keep saying, let's keep our mouths shut, but it really is reflection time. It's really coming back to yourself of what are you working on? And it's like, stay in your lane, stay in your lane, take care of yourself, stay in your lane. That's my advice for this. Also, the moon in Leo is doing a whole lot of movement on Monday. And so the first movement is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. I always say Pluto is shadow work. So where do you take the spotlight and talk about your emotions versus listen to what other people feel or what other people have to say? Where are you less worried about the collective? Perhaps the reward might come from putting yourself in the shoes of the collective and feeling what the mass majority is going through versus yourself. So are there any places where you're doing that and it might behoove you or benefit you and more people, the collective conscious, if you were to step out of your own mind for a second and out of your own, like, woe is me. And if not, then you probably won't feel this opposing Pluto in Aquarius. And then we've got the moon trining the Mars and the Mercury duo that's happening retrograding in Sagittarius. Mars isn't retrograding, it's just sitting in Sagittarius. But this is basically extremely fiery and potent, especially this week. It's Mars is dancing with the planet of communication. So it's not just the thoughts are jumbled in the communication, but it's also our actions as well. So think airline delays and think people coming back, but they're coming back to spit truths, raw truths, truth bombs, fights rehashing, the shit that we've been sitting on. So be prepared to want to discuss things that have been festering or people coming back to do the same, or like when the airlines cancel, especially now with everything going on, and fights kind of erupting at the airport. The energy is basically supporting this. It is a trine, so it's not going to be like super like as combative on Monday, but it's definitely like gearing us for like what does that feel like. It's like we're wanting to talk about these things, we're wanting to act on our emotions, we're wanting to share what's going on in our world. Like we're feeling like I've got to get this off my chest. It's just that Mercury's retrograde, so then it just starts to get a little confusing and jumbled with that being said. And then the moon in Leo is going to square Venus in Scorpio. So this is still fiery, Mars ruled Scorpio, adding intensity to the emotions, and then friction on how we show up in love or how we want to be loved. So we may want to be like the lion or lioness and really be taken care of, but then it's like the love that comes in or that we're receiving, it just doesn't feel right or aligned with what we're wanting on that day. So yeah, Monday's tough, and my mom said I need to release these earlier, and Mercury's in retrograde, so I'm sorry that I didn't release this before Monday, but yeah, I hope all of you cunties are doing okay out there. And yeah, Tuesday, we've got the official retrograde of Jupiter in Cancer. So again, this is the reflection period of looking back on ways we live, our home life, our comforts, our internal emotional world, and our intuition. So we have been sitting in Jupiter in Cancer since this summer. How has your home life changed? How have you softened? How have you expanded there, or even emotionally? How has your intuition expanded? How has your nurturing been to yourself and to others? This is a reflection time and refinement time. And so we may be making some adjustments during this. I saw another astrologer mention about how Jupiter in Cancer really brings about a lot of moves. So if you've been physically moving a lot, Cancer rules home life. It's that motherly feeling and, doing what we need to do to make ourselves feel comfortable, where we feel most welcomed and safe. And so this energy really is a revision of that. Maybe like me, I moved to Austin in December, left in February, came back in May, and I've been here since May. And now I'm like, okay, is it time to move on again? Is it time to go back to my house in San Antonio until it sells? So it's really like this kind of reflection on home life and private life and where do you feel best and what is best suited for you. And so we're going to be having that reflection for the next, I forgot to look up how long the Jupiter and Cancer is going to be retrograding, but it's definitely for the next few months. Sun in Scorpio is squaring Moon in Leo. So how we are showing up in the world, or how the energy is being presented as like the light, the, deep transformational healing work that we're doing, it's kind of at odds with our emotional world. So how we're showing up in the world is having a little bit of friction of how we're feeling. And I could see this being, like I show up and I'm like talking healing work, trying to help somebody, and it's all good intent, and I feel like I'm saying things fine. And then like the person is not receiving it well, or like how they're feeling about it isn't taken the way that I'm giving it. I think just with this, or it can be like even within yourself, like how I'm showing up in the world, it's like, wait, why did I just say that when really I feel this? It's just this jumbled mix when you combine it with that Mercury in retrograde that's happening. Okay, moving along. Wednesday, we have Mercury in retrograde in Sagittarius, conjuncting Mars in Sagittarius. This is the big one. This is the one that I was talking about in the intention at the beginning of this episode. This is the fire. This is the truth telling. This is the no holds bar. This is spitting fire. This is arguments, heated conflict. I tend to not like to, be dramatic on cosmic cunties as far as the energy that we're expecting goes. I like to see how everything's going to, there's two sides to every energetic coin, but this is just fire and intensity and heated arguments and just taking action on those things. Like imagine like getting in a fight with someone and they're like, I'm moving out, and they start packing their things type of stuff. Like no like space to like have a moment to talk about it, kind of is the energy I'm getting. Or maybe like I mentioned, it's like the heat doesn't warrant the topic or the convo. Like someone's just getting really passionate. Maybe it's because their words are not coming across as they want and they're getting frustrated with themselves. And so it's just getting like more heated. And it's things like not working out or misunderstanding. So it's going to create this snowball effect and increase in intensity. And so trying to communicate ideas is just not smooth on Wednesday. Wednesday is a great day to try to keep to yourself if there is a day this week for that. And then we have the moon in Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus. This is the last Leo moon aspect, and it's not really pleasant. So we might be experiencing some shifting or changes that are unexpected and take us out of our comfort zone. Taurus is all about comfort, and Leo's all about like, oh, rawr, like this is me and my home and how I like things, and but it's out of our comfort zone, especially if it hurts our ego. And so pay attention to what hurts your ego and where you might be feeling like you're losing yourself or abandoning yourself in effort to feel more comfortable. I'm going to repeat that one because I think it's a good one. Pay attention to where you're losing yourself or abandoning yourself in effort to feel more comfortable. If you stay comfortable, you will never change. Your comfort comes from doing the same shit over and over again because it makes you feel safe. The only way that you are able to grow and to achieve the things that you want to achieve is by doing the new things. And new things are scary because it's not where we find our safety. Lastly, on Wednesday, the moon is going to move to Virgo. So this is a grounded energy, but it's not grounded for too long because on Thursday, the moon in Virgo is going to square that Mercury retrograde in Mars in Sagittarius. So our internal emotions are at odds with this Mercury retrograde in Mars in Sagittarius. This is really confusing, really messy, intense, frustrating. Things are happening and people are saying things that they just like what people are saying and doing just aren't making sense. It's like, what? Like, what? No, that's not how this should be going. Or, it's just like that. No, you don't need to get mad about that. Or like, maybe I'm, talking to you about that. Like, why are you behaving that way? Like, you don't need to be behaving that way. I'm probably talking to myself about like that. And also this might be the time where someone comes back into your life or someone starts a fight, maybe you, and the communicated issue just like don't line up. So it's like, again, kind of what is happening here, or like that issue and the way that you're perceiving it or talking about like is not lining up to me at all. There's a lot of heat behind the wonkiness, and maybe it's just the heat does not equate to the argument or the convo. Alrighty, babes. We're moving into Friday. The moon in Virgo is opposing Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Not quite Neptune retrograde. That happens on Saturday. So just this one baddie of the duo. This is giving internal disciplined energy, reflecting back on our dreams and what maybe is not working while trying to keep ourselves emotionally grounded. It might be a little bit of an internal struggle bus on Friday. And then on Saturday, that moon in Virgo is going to oppose the second baddie of that duo, Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And this is a continuation of that internal battle of delusions versus being grounded in our dreams and moving our dreams forward. So we may find ourselves slipping, but trying to pull ourselves out to keep going. We also have the moon in Virgo going to trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, why not? Instagram underscore. Yeah. MEG. But I just made a story yesterday about how we officially have 6 planets in retrograde. And I've been talking about how this latter part of the 6 months of this year is all about internal reflection, getting all of our ducks in a row so that we can go forward next year and be ready and know that we've done all the refining and perfecting that we need to do. But 6 planets are retrograding currently. That is a lot of intense, like, reflecting and refining work. Whew. So anyways, yeah. With the moon trining Uranus, the grounding energy is here to come back to ourselves and nurture ourselves. This is reflecting back on the last 7 years since 2018. Where have you emotionally matured? Celebrate yourself, treat yourself for that growth. And then also, where are you still emotionally unintegrated? This week probably shows you this. If you are ready, if you're not already self-aware, this week has probably shown you like, oh, okay, like that's what's up. Like, okay, that's what's still lingering for me. That's what I still need to close up. That's what I still need to learn how to work on or what to work on. So yeah, this is really giving us a good time to reflect back since 2018. And then look at your chart. What house does the sign of Taurus happen to be in? So everybody has all 12 signs, whether you have planets in Taurus or not, whether you have like ascendant descendant in Taurus or not, you have Taurus. It's in one of your houses, and each house has a theme. So this is what you've been or should have been working through since 2018. So it's a reflection upon those things. And then lastly, on Saturday, we have the moon moving to Libra. So this is balanced emotions, not wanting to shake the baby, but also means we're more sensitive, especially because all of the fiery communication that happened this week. This is a good day to recalibrate and maybe work out why certain things came about or what happened this week. Where did you feel not supported or unsafe in communication? Was it maybe something that you did or something that you could have done better? And the moon is in Libra is also trining Pluto in Aquarius. So again, this is Pluto shadow work for our emotions. Most likely things came up this week internally and externally, and this energy supports you in getting to the bottom of why that came up. And lastly, the last day of the week or the first day of next week, if you like to look at the calendar that way, Sunday, the 16th, the sun in Scorpio is going to trine Jupiter in Cancer that is retrograding. So this is the light at the end of the tunnel for this week. This is supporting our emotional growth. Jupiter's in retrograde, so this is more internalized growth. With this being in Cancer, this is emotional and reflecting, especially trine Scorpio. So really doing that deep transformational work, and what things about yourself can you let die, and what things can you let die so that you can make room for what's being reborn. And so you might receive some answers as to habits that you may have or how to break those habits that you have, especially how you handle your emotions and maybe your intuition, maybe how you do not provide space for your intuition to come through or grow or to listen to it. And so just pay attention to what comes through. And that's all I have for you, Cunties. Thank you so much for being here. Please, as always, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I always put my email and my Instagram down below and my website. If you are wanting a natal chart reading, if you're wanting to know how these upcoming transits are going to be affecting you, I do cosmic counseling where I coach you based on the astrological events that are happening and how it affects your personal natal chart. And my mother, my biggest fan, has suggested that I start putting timestamps in the description box below of like where, like if say you start watching this on Wednesday and you're like, I don't want to listen to Monday and Tuesday and I don't know where Wednesday starts, I'm going to have it outlined, the timestamp in the descriptions from now on. I thought it automatically did it. It does for some people, but maybe you have to be like super YouTube famous for that to happen one day. Which reminds me, please please subscribe, please comment, please support me. It takes you literal no effort to hit the like button. And if you don't like it and it goes against your whole belief of not liking something, to actually hit the like button, put in the comment what you didn't like. Help me out. Let me grow. I'm here to benefit y'all. And so I take any and all types of feedback. I hope this week is easier on you than I am expecting. And I love you all. And be kind to yourselves. Do your best to be kind to others. And I will see you on the other side.